Indestructible Gaming. Choose your character. Musket Shot. Mr. K. Let the review begin.
Hello and welcome to Indestructible Gaming. I am Musket Shot, and alongside me, my co-host, Mr. K. Mr. K, hello.
What's up, everyone?
Welcome to week 16, episode 16. And this episode 16 is called Out of Control. That's because we're going to be doing a game review on a demo called Out of Control. And I'm going to talk about a few other phone app games by the developer of this game, Out of Control.
Nice.
And all those games are actually developed by a group called Health Potion Studios, and they have this demo of Out of Control right now out on Steam. When you click on the demo button, it actually takes you to itch.io, so you can look up the game Out of Control either on Steam or on itch.io to play this demo. You can also visit their website at healthpotionstudios.com or look them up on Twitter at healthpotiondev. And so you can check out their games and see some of the gameplay from Out of Control on their Twitter account there. And 3 guys make up that development team, so it's pretty cool. And they all look like they're pretty young guys still, so they got a lot going for them, which is really cool. Okay, so they tried putting their apps on Google, or Android. But I guess those flatlined immediately per their website. Google, I guess, publicly displays your home address, and if you don't have an office space. So it was eventually costing them too much money, I guess, to pay for a mailbox to hide their address for the apps. So that's why they're not on Android devices, just on the Apple iOS or Apple Store.
Man, I feel bad. That sucks.
Yeah, it's tough. I think I'm sure they're probably not the only ones that have had that happen before. So, but good to know. I guess if you ever decide to create a phone app, you might have to have that. Might have to encounter that problem. I'm sure they're pretty disappointed with that, but the games are on the iPhone store, Apple Store, I should say, so you can download them. And I know you didn't check them out, but I did download all of them, and I'll give you just a quick rundown of the games and what they're like to play and stuff like that. So hopefully, maybe if you do have an Apple phone, you might want to check one of these 3 out.
That'd be pretty nice.
Yeah, so the first one is called Danger Mountain, which sounds pretty cool. It's got a cool name. So you play as a mountain climber, and you're climbing up a rope as boulders are falling down towards you. And at most there's always at least 3 boulders coming down, because 3 or 4 boulders coming down. You always have to have one spot where you can kind of escape out of the way. So, but you got to quickly dodge the boulders by tapping left to right to an open space between the boulders or on the edges of the screen to get past the boulders. And sometimes the open space has a coin in it, which you can collect, and you want to collect those because those coins will allow you to unlock different climbers. Some of them are just in different colors. Some of them are in different costumes. Like you can get an astronaut to do your climbing, or you can dress as a ninja. There's I think a Santa Claus. I don't know. There's like a whole bunch of different ones. I was really surprised at how many different characters they had. It was pretty funny. And then you can also use the coins, to buy power-ups like a force field or a coin magnet, which I tried both of those. And that was pretty cool because a force field will actually, if you get hit by one of the boulders, it knocks the force field out, but it doesn't kill you. Because normally when the boulders hit you, that's it. It's like a game over type of thing. So it's like usually one hit and you're done type of thing. So, the force field kind of gives you that extra life. And the coin magnet's even cooler because if you got that, if the coins are out of your reach, the coins actually get sucked right to you no matter what when you have it. So that's a really cool little power up to have. And sometimes the power ups fall randomly down to you, which the coin magnet power up did fall randomly down to me in one of the games, so that was pretty good. You got to just make sure you catch it in time.
That's pretty cool.
The game is really a good eye-hand coordination type of game.
Huh.
I find like your eyes and fingers are working really fast to get to the, out of the way and stuff like that. So I think it's really good for that. And, the more you play it, the faster you start moving. I early on when I first started playing it, I was like really slow. I wasn't getting any more than like a couple times past the boulders, and then I was getting hit. By last time I played it, I think I had gone up to like, past like 35 or 36 boulders coming down, like rows of boulders coming down. So I had really improved
pretty
a lot.
Cool.
So yeah. And this is a fun, quick game to play. And the fact that, it's, one life and done type of thing. And it's really based on how many how far you can get type of thing. Kind of reminds me of what? Do you know?
Real life?
No. something we reviewed way back in
week 8. I don't know, but for some reason I'm thinking of a goat.
Yes. It reminds me of Ready, Set, Go.
Ready, Set, Go. I still play that now and then.
Yeah. Obviously a different gameplay, but it's the same type of, I don't know, that same type of feel to it a little bit, where it's, it's one and done type of thing, but you're not going all these different levels, but you're just trying to constantly improve upon yourself and trying to improve and better your score and every time like that. And, I think it's great that it's a, interesting game. So, scale from 1 to 5, I would give it a 4. I find it at first, like I said, I thought it was very challenging, but the more I've gotten used to it, the more I play it and the more I enjoy it. And, like I said, picking the different the climbers and stuff that when you're getting the coins, it's kind of fun. It's kind of a neat game. So the second game that they have that's on the Apple Store is called Celestial Patterns, and this is it's a story. The story goes basically that there's these large planets that come down to Earth and kind of destroy the cities and stuff like that. And the character you play as is like lying face down on the ground, and then this red cape that has like power to it wakes him up and kind of tells him, put the cape on you and listen to everything I tell you to do, and we can defeat the planet. So the gameplay is very similar it's like a memory type of game, and it kind of reminds me of, if you've ever played the game Simon, the round toy.
I haven't played one of those in years.
With the 4 colors. Well, this one it has, this 4 distinct shapes and colors. These colored patterns appear for like, a half a second. Then you have to press the correct colored pattern the way it was shown in a lot of time. So you have like, you might have like 3 to 4 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever it is, to do the pattern that you were just shown to like basically deal hit points to these planets. So each time you do it correctly, you like you said, you inflict damage to the planets. The further you progress, you'll get items to help you in the battle and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. Again, this one is a good memory building game. And like I said, if you like games like Simon and some of those other games where you have to try to remember color patterns or color or shapes and stuff like that, I don't know, whichever way, each one's a different shape. So, depending on how you memorize things, maybe you memorize things by color easier than shapes. I don't know, whatever way it works for you. It's pretty interesting game. It's kind of an RPG type of game, a little bit, but I thought it was pretty fun and pretty interesting.
Yeah, sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, so on a scale from 1 to 5, I would give this one a 4 as well, because I think it was pretty fun.
Ooh.
And I downloaded Celestial Patterns and Danger Mountain at the same time, and I really like Celestial Patterns a lot more, but now I've kind of like both of them a lot. So, okay, and the last phone app game they have on Apple Store is called Day Night, and this game is played kind of like landscape style on your phone, so you can turn the phone sideways, and the game screen is sort of split. So there's a top and a bottom level, and the top level is day, and the bottom level is night. sometimes it's the obstacles switch from day to night and vice versa. And the obstacles are black in the day part and white in the night part. So the object of the game is to really have as your character is running, to flip to either day or the night level to avoid the obstacles and get past those obstacles. And it's basically, to see how far you can get, the best time you can get and stuff like that. Again, all like a lot of Ready, Set, Go. It's kind of funny how a lot of these games are kind of like that now, which is pretty cool. But this is another game where it's, practices really good height and hand-eye coordination. I can't even say it, but good hand-eye coordination. And again, kind of interesting. This one, I do like it. I would give it a 3 out of 5, not as high as the other two. I liked it, but not as much as the other two. But again, three interesting phone games. All 3 you can download on your Apple phone and play. You don't have to spend long times playing them and go deep into them. So they're just kind of fun, simple, easy games to play. Like Ready, Set, Go, easy to play, hard to master type games, but pretty fun to try. So highly recommend it.
There's a lot of those.
Yeah,
those are always fun to play.
Them. But now we're going to get to the demo game that we both played. And
the main course.
Yep, it is called Out of Control. And Mr. K, will you be able to give us a breakdown of the game?
Well, yeah, I can. So basically, Out of Control is a game where you play as a raccoon in I want to say, a cardboard box mech, in which each level you pass, your controls on the keyboard change. Instead of WASD, it could be SWOP, something you wouldn't even think about. It changes each time, and it's a platformer, and yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, this is a 2D platformer for the PC only. It's a single-player game. It's all keyboard controls, so there's not going to be any game controller type access as far as I know to this thing. That's what sort of makes it kind of unique and different, as like Mr. K was saying. Every time you advance in a level, the controls change completely. So it really... I don't know. It's quite kind of unique. Have you ever played a game like that? That's ever done that?
I don't think there's a single game that I can think of that implements this kind of controls.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of anything, or I know I've never played anything like that. Yeah, the raccoon you play, his name is Roscoe.
Roscoe is a cool name.
Yeah, and the cardboard mech suit that he uses was created by a frog called Professor Croak. And basically the storyline is the professor created these robots to sort of protect the forest, but now they're all rampaging and out of control in the forest, so hence the name Out of Control.
I thought it was because we had no control over the movement.
That's probably it too, I'm sure. But and it's kind of interesting too, because in order for Professor Croak to kind of stop these robots, his keyboard is missing these letters from the keyboard. So randomly throughout the level, there's these letters that you got to collect to help with Professor Croak get his keyboard back to normal so he can stop these robots. So it's kind of, I didn't understand that first until I started playing it a little bit. Then I was like, oh, okay, got it. Gotcha. So it's kind of a neat twist on that as well. And you want to mention the Roscoe in the mech suit, his legs?
Yeah, his legs, I can't really explain it other than those certain YouTube videos that you can find online with the like the army robots they have now. With the weird, like, supposed to be looking like dogs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? I'm pretty sure they use them to like bring items back and forth in the middle of battle, because they're robots instead of people, so you can easily bring items back and forth between. That's what I'm pretty sure they're based off of.
Yeah, and you can
like prosthetic legs too.
Yeah, and you can jump over creatures in this game. You can jump onto different platforms. You could even jump up walls. You have to do a lot of jumping, but you can basically use the jumping mechanism to sort of
do a wall jump
all the way up a wall, which is kind of took me a few minutes to really figure that out. But once it
really just lies down to how your controls are.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can make it easy for you. Sometimes it can be just physically impossible to do.
Yeah. And he's also got Roscoe's also got sort of a weapon.
So basically, he just does a punch.
Well, it's a mechanical like boxing glove, right?
Yeah, it's a boxing glove on a spring, like something like the Joker would use from DC.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a little boxing glove punch from Jack in the Box kind of.
Yeah. And it when Roscoe uses it, it hits the creatures. It stuns them for like a couple seconds, maybe at the most, but then they start moving again. I was kind of like, oh, I'll hit them, and then I thought would knock them back, or they would fly off or something. No, just stun them, and then if you don't move quickly enough, they come right back to life, and they can get you. So, and all they have to do is hit you. All they have to do is touch you, and you're
it's a one-hit kill. You're done.
It's a one-hit kill in this game. There is pieces of duct tape all over the place in the air that you can jump to and gather. And at the beginning of the game, or at the beginning of each level, I should say, you start with, your one life. And as you're gathering these pieces of duct tape, even if you die during a level, you'll keep those pieces. Once you fill up that level, you'll actually gain a second life, so that if you do get hit, you won't die right away. You'll kind of get stunned, but you can keep going. And if you get hit a second time, then you'll die. So there's these pieces of duct tape that will help you sort of gain a life. So if you're really good at it, maybe you can get up to 2 or 3, 4 lives or something like that. But that's, if you don't get hit. Which it's pretty difficult not getting hit in this game.
Yeah.
So the biggest challenge and hook of the game is the controls changing each level, which that I thought was, again, it's unique, it's different, but very, very challenging because you get so used to doing something. I mean, you're pressing certain buttons and then you're like, okay, what's the letters again? Oh yeah. All right. And you start doing it and you're like, wait, no, I'm pressing the wrong ones again. And it's like, it takes you a number of times to finally get used to it and start getting used to it. And just as you get used to it, you finish the level and you're like, okay, all right, now I gotta learn some new letters.
Yeah.
And I think there's like 6 levels in the demo, which I got to the 6th level. I didn't get past that one. I just that one is definitely a very hard level because there's a lot more coming at you as far as different characters and creatures trying to stop you. Supposedly, this is on Steam. I got this information from the developer. They said that there's going to be more than 40 levels and more than 20 unique enemy types. Well, which is pretty incredible. That's a lot of levels and a lot of different unique enemies. The animation, all hand drawn, which is all hand drawn art, which is really good. It's really good. I'm not sure if there was one person involved in that or if all 3 of them were involved in it, but it's really good artwork. The music, a little repetitive. I wish it changed every level with the controls, maybe even slightly. But other than that, it didn't really bother me too much. Not a big deal for me. The direction of the game really goes left to right in the demo. I don't know if it changes in the real game from left to right or right to left or up and down or
We'll have to see.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the real game would do that. If it didn't, fine. But if it did, boy, that would make it really even more challenging because it's already a pretty challenging game. And one of the comments that the developer mentions on Steam is that the game is frustrating but a satisfying gameplay. So I thought that was an interesting comment that the developer left for the game. So what any thoughts on it? Like what you think of the characters and the gameplay itself and I know you're big into platforming.
I mean, in terms of platforming, it was good platforming. I thought the characters were unique. I thought Roscoe was pretty cool in that little mech there.
Yeah.
The enemies were pretty cool looking in terms of how common enemies go.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem I had with this game was I think he could have made it, or they could have made it so when you stun an enemy, they go for a little longer for a stun. Because especially if you have like weird controls, you're going to somehow mess it up pretty easy, and you might just go the opposite direction you're supposed to go, and then you turn yourself around and you hit the enemy just because you stunned them right in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I agree with you. That's one thing I kind of wish that was a little bit different.
The stunning and the movement really don't work together a little bit.
Yeah.
I think they should A, probably kill them, or B, just extend it.
Yeah. Extend the stun a little bit longer for
either that or give us an extra hit and give us like resistance to damage for a couple seconds so we can just pass them. Yeah, that
did pose quite a problem for me and on all the levels where you hit them, you think, okay, that's good, but then they only stay stunned for like maybe a second or two, and then by the time you're moving, they turn and and there's usually another character.
The worst one was like in the second level, you load in, and as soon as you're learning these controls, one of the enemies is parading towards you.
Yeah.
So you either have to figure out your controls fast or you die.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, I gotta figure out these controls. Why are you just throwing an enemy at me? Like, die in one hit.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be better if they could be stunned a little bit longer, or if you punched them, they would go flying, away from you, like further down the platform or whatever, just a sort of away from you enough that it gives you a chance to sort of like, okay, let me get back to, the right buttons that I got to press and stuff like that. So I find it is definitely quite a challenge. Like I said, the level 6 that I stopped at in the demo, and I think that was the last level to try, is a lot more challenging because there's stuff coming at you from left to right sometimes, and it's like, wow, that's tough. So
I also thought the jumping was a little clunky at times. Like it felt it was a little weighted. Like imagine you have like this super ability to jump, and then you go, and then you don't jump forward, you just fall like straight down like a weight. That's how I kind of feel, because I go over an enemy and I swear I stop right on the end of them every time and I die.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah.
Because I swear I'm doing it at the right time, because I'm like, they're right in front of me. I jump over them, I still get hit.
Yeah. There's that kind of, I don't know what it's called, but I know when we were talking to the guys from Ready Set Go, they had a blog about there's like a kind of like a box or something like that around a hitbox.
And I think they have a big hitbox.
Yeah, maybe the hitbox is maybe a little bit too big or something like that, where you're just catching the edge of it and it's killing you or something like that. Yeah, I know it happened in the 5th level to me. There's like a level where I had to jump up these different levels, and I had to kind of avoid like a hornet or a bee or something, whatever. I'm not sure what it was exactly. It's one of the two. And there's times where I would jump up and I would thought I was right underneath it, and I must have been right enough into the hitbox that I died. And I was like, come on. That's not fair. But, it's just one of those things. I think that, maybe it could be adjusted, maybe it can't. Who knows? But, yeah. And anything else about the game?
Other than that, I'll be honest, I'm gonna have to give it a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
It deserves it.
Yeah. I definitely, they obviously have done a lot with this game, and have done a lot of gameplay and put a lot of effort into this game.
It has charm to it.
Yeah.
It definitely has it.
Yeah, the main character, Roscoe, is really kind of cool looking. I think he's a really neat looking character. Actually, we talk about a game called Indie Pogo, you and I, every once in a while.
Yeah.
And bring in different indie characters into that game. His character would be kind of cool too, with his jumping ability and the punch, the boxing glove punch or something like that.
That'd be weird because each character in Indie Pogo has their own certain moveset. Maybe with this one, they could have, so each time you play as him in a game, he changes the controls.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But yeah, I think this is a good game. It's obviously, like I said, the Health Potion Studios definitely put a lot of time and effort into this, and to make something that's 40 levels. I'm not sure if the levels in the demo are the size of the levels in the actual game, or if
I wouldn't expect it.
If it's a true representation, because some of the levels I got through, I would say relatively quick for me. I'm not a big platform guy. I don't play platformers really well. I kind of struggle with them at times, but I kind of focused on trying to get through the levels. I didn't really worry about getting the letters and stuff like that too much. I did get a couple of them, but I kind of wanted to see what all the levels were like. So if the levels are this short, then the 40 levels, I could see, doing 40 levels. If they're a lot longer, that seems like a lot of work for them to do. And then to have 20 unique enemy types, which I think we only probably encountered maybe 5 or 6 different enemy types in this demo version. So that's pretty amazing to come up with 20 different unique enemy types. Artwork is great. If this is all hand drawn, that's really, really good job on that artwork.
Look pretty good.
It's really cool. So it looks really good. So yeah, it can be frustrating. The gameplay can be frustrating, but if you get done with the level, you are very satisfied with getting done with the level and moving on and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. So on a scale from 1 to 5 for me, I'd give it a 4 as well. I think they've done a great job with it, and I hope that they continue to do a great job with getting this game out, and hopefully, wish them a lot of luck in getting it out there, definitely. And getting it selling it on Steam, and who knows where it'll be years from now. Who knows? Maybe we'll see them at a PAX conference at some point down the road.
That'd be cool.
Be pretty cool and be able to say, hey, yeah, we played that game when it came out as a demo. That was a pretty cool game, and tell people they should try it out. So yeah, those are the reviews. Whew, there's a lot of reviews today.
Yeah, man.
For Health Potion Studios.
So I've been thinking of lately.
Mm-hmm.
When are they coming out with the new Jaws?
Jaws movie? They probably should. They probably should, with all these shark sightings off every coastline on the East Coast or West Coast or something like that. There's always seems to be. When
was the last Jaws movie came out?
That's a long time ago.
I know the
last one that came out was terrible, though. It was terrible. The franchise was good until Jaws 4. Once Jaws 4, and I think there might have been a 5th one. I can't remember now. But after the 3rd one, which was in 3D, after that 3rd one, it just went downhill. After that, it was terrible. After that,
after that they made the Xbox original game. Jaws Unleashed. I think that was PS2 as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that's they should make another. They should make another kind of genre like that. You play as a shark and you eat everyone.
Yep.
You know what they should call it? They should call it People Eater.
People Eater. It doesn't have a really good ring to it, I don't think.
Well, what do you think?
It would have been more like Man Eater, maybe?
Man Eater. That's what we're doing next week, everyone. We're going to be eating people as a shark.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's this is a game that appeared at the PAX East when we were up there in Boston. And it was huge, had a huge area to check the game out, to play the game. It was they were giving out free stuff. You get your picture taken where they throw you in on basically the artwork of the game box, so it looks like the sharks sharks hitting the boat and you're flying up in the air. So I did that. That was pretty cool. Yeah, this is a game that you and your brother had showed me this probably back at Christmas time.
I've been waiting for this for a good while.
And you kept talking about it and couldn't wait for it to come out. And then it did come out at the end of May. So we thought about doing it right away, but we've kind of waited for a little bit. And so now next week we will be doing a review on Maneater.
Yes. How would you guys like that drawn out intro, huh?
Yeah. that tease for next week's episode. Okay. So anything else, Mr. K?
Nothing much that I can think of.
Okay.
Other than thank you for tuning in, and go check out our Twitter and or our Facebook.
Yep.
And we'll see you all next week.
Yeah. So everybody, thank you for listening and appreciate it. We'll hopefully catch you next week. Hopefully you'll tune in to hear our review on Maneater. And we're hoping to eventually, we're working on it right now, to hopefully get channel up on Twitch so we can do some gameplaying that you can see and see some of these cool indie games that we've reviewed.
You said see.
Yeah. So you can check out some of these games that we've reviewed these past 15, 16 weeks now. So that's the idea, of trying to get that Twitch channel up, and hopefully you can check out some of the stuff. So that's all. Thanks, everybody.
Stay indestructible, guys. Peace.
Game over.
Hey, it's Mr. K here. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter. I hope you enjoyed the episode today. Also, you can listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, and iRadio. Anyways, hope you have a wonderful day. Peace.